everybody. This is AKA Heather Joy, and you guys have just boarded the lifeboat. Hey, whew, it's not been a good day for me. Every I Tommy is still on. Well, let me check. He has been on. He was over on Growing Up in Scientology, and what I have caught of it has been terribly interesting. You guys, it's been really good. Let me just see if he's still on. So I'm just trying to hold the fort down. Oh, okay. He just posted. He just posted something. Um, Apparently he is gotta get to know each other at in 45 minutes. So okay, well, we'll see what happens. Let me see if he's still on the Scientology. Um, I believe he is. Let's see. Maybe I should just stream that. Yeah, he's still on, and they're talking about drugs. This has been really interesting. What I've caught of it. Oh, sorry guys. There's a bunch of us this week going through withdrawals. This is ridiculous. No, I have been taking gabapentin. Neurontin is the name brand. I've been taking that for years. It's been prescribed for my fibromyalgia pain, and it's one of those that I've never. I guess some people can really get a buzz off of it. I've never experienced that ever, but it is one of those drugs that if you take it, you become physically dependent on it, and the withdrawal symptoms are the exact same thing as if you were going through, coming off of heroin or something, where you just get your diarrhea and vomiting and muscle spasms, and you're hot and you're cold and your nose runs, and you just, it's not been fun. My pharmacy has been having a difficult time getting it here on time, and I made sure that I reordered my prescription like quite a bit earlier than I usually do, because they have been having issues at getting it in. And they didn't have it in, and I kind of suspected that might happen. I had a feeling. So I really had cut my dose down, but I ran out. Let's see, the last time I had it was Sunday evening. I'm not sure. And I'm surprised that my withdrawal symptoms are this bad, because I had really been cutting it down. So, if my pharmacy doesn't have it in by tomorrow, I'm just going to be done with it. And, I'll just finish the withdrawals and be done with it, because I don't think it actually helps me all that much, to be honest. And I don't, well, let's see. Oh, good grief. I just realized I haven't been paying attention to who's in the comments. Anyway, just with the relationship that our nation currently has with China, I'm sure many of you, or most of you, know that a great deal of the medications, the prescriptions, and over-the-counter drugs that we have here come out of that country. And things are, have been breaking down a little bit, and we don't have but we just don't have what we need, and it's getting worse. And then the Pfizer plant in North Carolina got hit with a tornado, and then one of the warehouses burned down. And Tommy, I was talking to him about this, and he said that the stuff that they were manufacturing was stuff for in-hospital use, but just the same, whenever there's a disruption in what's the word I'm looking for? Whenever there's a disruption in the supply chain, it's going to affect every other place, regardless of what it's, of what that, whether they were making them for the public or for the hospital, in one way or another, it's going to affect it a little bit. And I'm afraid that, as things stand right now, we're probably going to see a lot more of this as time goes on. And so I just would really encourage you guys to do your research and find out what other kind of alternatives there are, supplement wise, herb supplements, things like that. Find out if there is anything else you can do, so that if you end up not being able to get the medications that you need, you've got something, somehow that you can fall back on. And I've any of you guys are familiar with the Patriot Nurse? She's amazing. She teaches classes that help you be more prepared medically. Try and it's she also teaches a lot of herbal stuff. She actually is a master level in herbs. And anyway, I've been able to study with her for several weeks, and so I have a little training with herbs and supplements, but I have some really great books. And so if any of you guys have questions, if you can't find any information on the internet, email me, and if I can, I will see what I can find to suggest. And unfortunately, there are just some medications that there is no alternative. But I'm hoping for myself, if things get worse and I can't get like my antidepressants, which I really can't live without. There's several things though that I really need to have every day. And I have got a lot of stuff that I've stocked up as far as herbs and supplements that can hopefully fill that gap someday. But please do your research. But if there's something you can't find anything for, email me, and I will look through my books and see if there's anything I can suggest. And I also know a few people besides Patriot Nurse that are master level herbalists, and I can always reach out to them too and see. But just I'm sure you guys can see, the way the entire world is, the way politics are right now, just everything. Things are a mess right now, and it would be a really good idea to be as prepared as you can, both with your food and with medications. It'd be a really good idea too, just to get some basic medical training. You just want to be prepared for whatever. But anyway, I apologize, guys. It's just been I've been really ill today ever since this kicked in. This is anyway. It's okay though. It's just one of those things. I tried to actually wean myself off of this before, and I think I did it too quickly, and I kind of gave up on it. But honestly, if my pharmacy doesn't have the medication in tomorrow, I think I'm just going to go ahead and finish out the withdrawals and just be done with it, because this isn't fun. Anyway, poor Quiet Girl has been, going through this for weeks now, trying to wean herself off of Klonopin, and there are a few other people on the boat, the crew, that are currently going through similar things. This is not fun, but what do you do? Anyway, I wanted to show you, I finally got home yesterday. I got home, and I had been up at my daughter's house sitting while they were in Mexico, and I got to show you. I hope you guys can see this. This is one of a pair of earrings that they found. There was a lady that had a little booth set up in the street. Where were they? What city were they in? I can't even think right now. Anyway, she was selling these, and she's handmade them. They are from some type of porcelain clay, and I'm just blown away. I mean, this, looking at it really doesn't even do it justice, but the delicate, intricate, detailed work she has done, and then the paint that she's added to it. These are just beautiful. I am just blown away at her skill. These are gorgeous. Man, I love it. I feel my daughter spoiled their mom. I just love those girls. They're so good. Their mom. Anyway, if anybody wants to know, I can share the link for her stuff. I guess she sells stuff online too. And I love the name of her little that her little business is Arte por Gracia, which basically means art by grace. Kind of, I think they mean it in the way of, have you ever heard of that French term, art for art's sake? I think it's supposed to mean something like that. And I guess her name is Issa, Issa. But I would love, I'm going to have to get on and see what else she has because I am so impressed with her work. I mean, the detail. I wish the camera would show the detail. It's amazing, but they are just beautiful. Oh my word, I just can't. I'm hot and then I'm cold. Oh boy. Anyway, let me see who is in here in the chat right now. We've got Barilla. How are you, Barilla? It's good to see you. Mind Game 60, Miss V, Goosebump, Trish, Killian, Quiet Girl, Mind Games, Goddess Divine, Virginia. Hey, Virginia. Let's see. Vivian P. Oh, hello. That's now. If you have, I don't recognize your name, so welcome. I let's see, and you said get off the medicine. It's so hard. I understand, but yes, it is. There are alternatives. I agree, Vivian. I agree. Yeah, the one thing that I have not been able to adjust to though is going without an antidepressant. I have both sides of my family have mental illness, and then I had a really horrific head injury when I was young, and that's just kind of compounded the problem. And I cannot get by without an antidepressant, and that one worries me because I think I can learn to live without all the other things. I know what to do for my thyroid issue and for inflammation and things like that, but the antidepressant, that's one I just can't get by without. That's what I worry about. But I agree, Vivian. Yeah, that it's if there are alternatives, it's a really good idea. Yep. Let's see. Well, oh, we've got Nisha is here, and that's awakened by the looking glasses reflection. That's Misha. And thank you, Misha. Yesterday, that was wonderful. You sharing what you shared with Dr. K and I and the crew last night. I know that touched a great deal many people. Thank you for that. You guys are awesome. Let's see. Trish says we get our drugs from the same area you do, and we are noticing shortages. Yes, I have had a problem. There's been several of my meds over the last few months that I have ordered. I've gone in to pick them up, and I usually just do them all at once, and I'm usually short one or two every time that they are still waiting to get in, and there is no one else there. There are like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 other pharmacies in this area, if I remember correctly. None of them had this medication that the gabapentin that I'm sure I'm not the only one going through this right now. And now in fact, he's my mother's husband was on this medication. He's a Vietnam vet, and he was exposed to Agent Orange, and now as a result he has a really difficult time with depression, but also sorry, I'm not feeling good. He has neuropathy in his feet, almost as if he was diabetic, and it's really painful. And he was taking the gabapentin for that, but it became too hard on his kidneys, and they took him off of it and gave him a different med, but they didn't wean him down. And they just cut him off, and oh my word, the poor guy, he was so ill. And he, got in contact with his doctor, and she fixed the issue. But because he's a vet and because he gets all of his meds through the mail, there were, I don't know, 4 or 5 days where he had to wait. And I actually lent him some of mine because he was just, he had it bad. I felt not fun. Anyway, yeah, there is definitely a shortage of medications. My youngest went to pick up one of her prescriptions last night and didn't have it. And then the other one that she takes was so outrageously expensive. Like, that's the other thing we're going to begin seeing, I'm afraid, is the prices of everything going up. I hope she doesn't mind me saying this. She was taking Accutane for her face. It's just another issue that runs in my family. Terrible, terrible acne. I mean, I've broken out my entire life. It's not until, I don't know, maybe the last year that my face has stopped breaking out thanks to menopause. But anyway, yeah, she went to pick up her Accutane, and she doesn't have insurance currently. And, she's been paying out of pocket. And I believe she was paying about $350 a month for that particular medication. And when she went to get her meds, this is last night, the price on the Accutane had jumped from about $350 to $1,600. There's no way she can do that. There's no way I can help her get that either. But I'm afraid this is something that we are going to start seeing a bit more of for a time. Hopefully it doesn't last. But again, I highly encourage everyone, if there are medications that you take on a daily basis, get online and start doing research. Try to find alternatives. And I a lot of times there's a lot that a lot of times with supplements and herbs, things like that, they are effective, but they take a great deal longer to take effect. And so it's a good idea to have backup, like, from several different sources, and also know what other things you can do besides taking something that might help. And hopefully a combination of all the alternatives you can find will help you get through it. This is an interesting time to be alive, guys. Anyway, I apologize. I did not anticipate having to come on tonight, so I had nothing prepared. But what I would like to know from you guys is what do you guys? Oh, hang on. Okay, excuse me, just a second. I just got an email from somebody here in the crew, and let me see where'd it go? Let me see what he has to say here. Oh, okay. Oh, are you in the comments right now, James? This is James R from the UK. Is he? Yes, you are here. I apologize, James. Let me post the Oh wait. No, I did post that. I pinned the link it should be at the top of the comment section. If you just use that link, you can pop right on, and I'll bring you up, and you can ask me, or you can go ahead and just put it in the comments. I am sorry, I'm not paying very good attention here, am I? Let's see. Chili Phil says capsaicin is awesome. Yes, it is. Yes. You know what? For physical pain, capsaicin can be used, on your skin and internally, both. Because when you eat, something very spicy that burns, you get a release of endorphins. And I know Johnny Scoville, to take care of his back pain, just eats a bunch of hot stuff in the morning, and it helps him get through his day. But I also read a study that came out rather recently, like within the last maybe 6 months, and it was on capsaicin. And you can purchase capsaicin in a rub. And I'm trying to remember how long you have to use it. You have to use it regularly for, was it 2 weeks? I'm trying to remember but it showed like a significant difference after using it, regularly for a certain period of time. The pain levels just really went down. I mean, it was significant. So yeah, capsaicin is awesome for pain in both ways. Let's see. Oh, and there's another new name here. New guy here. It's Pure OSRS ulcers or anyway, welcome. I am very glad that you are here, and I apologize. Oh, hello, Kitty. Our boat captain is currently live streaming on Growing Up in Scientology, and they have been talking a lot about L. Ron Hubbard and his drug abuse. Has been really interesting. Usually, we Pure, we usually have a live stream twice a day. The lives at 5, 5 a.m., 5 p.m. This is Pacific Coast time. And our captain, oh yeah, he's awesome. Anyway, we usually have something prepared, but he has. It's been a bad time, and I didn't anticipate coming on tonight. And he's still on that other channel. But we usually are in. We usually have things put together a lot better than this. So please don't turn your back on us because we're a mess today. It gets better, I promise. And welcome. I'm really glad to see you. This is awesome. I love all these new people. This is really cool. Let's see. Anyway, where was I? I was looking through. Oh, Chili Felix said you had foot pain and you put 3 million extract on it and it helped. Good. Yeah, I put, with my fibromyalgia, you carry a lot of your stress, in the back of your neck and down into your trapezius, and sometimes it, get onto your shoulders. But you carry even, regular people that don't have fibromyalgia, still you carry so much of your stress in these muscles, and they get so, so tight, and then so that gives you a stress headache, and it's not fun. And I have discovered that a combination of lidocaine. I put some lidocaine on first because that does numb the edges, the ends of your nerves a little bit. It takes the pain down a little bit. It doesn't get deep, but it does take the pain down a little bit. And then I let that soak in for about 5 minutes, and then I put some capsaicin rub on it, and wow, big difference. It can get you from, sometimes, when you have such a bad headache, you can't concentrate. It can. It doesn't take all the pain away, but it can take you from, not being able to even think to where you can sit down and relax and concentrate on what you need to concentrate on. So, yeah, captain, that's a good one. Oh, and hey, here is our captain.
All right.
Oh.
Heather, go to sleep. I'm going to take over. So I'm going to pop in a microphone. People, I want you to bear with me for 2 seconds while I get this microphone set up correctly, because I've been having problems with it. Heather, go to sleep.
That was fascinating.
Wasn't that a fun show?
Yes, and I loved when you told Aaron about his drug use, and that he was like, oh, you could just see that was really very interesting. And I'm
probably gonna lose you, hon, because I am about to pop this in. So hold on 1 second, and let me see if I can do this. There it is. There it is. I think now. Can I
hear you?
High five if you guys can hear me? I'm kicking Heather Joy off of the show.
Hang on, I gotta just say something. We were talking about capsaicin and using it topically.
So once I got my microphone on, I can't hear you. I apologize. I really do.
Give me just a second.
First word sounds like.
Mind Games brought up a good point. If you are using capsaicin, on your skin, wash your hands well, because if you rub your eyes, if you touch private parts in the bathroom, you will be very sorry. Good point, Mind Games. Yes, you've got to wash your hands. All right. Can't hear him. Oh, dear.
You're good. Don't worry about it. I got this.
You got it? Okay.
It's going the right way. Hold on. Now I should be able to get a 5x5. Everybody got a 5x5 on me? Can you hear me? Tell you what, we'll just do this.
Get me, buddy.
Can I get a 5x5?
Yes.
There
you go.
I'm good. I'm live. All right, people. I'm Captain Tommy Scoville, and you're on the lifeboat. And poor Heather. Heather should have been asleep. She's been going through it, but she jumped on because I didn't know how long I was going to be over on Aaron's channel. Growing up in Scientology, we ran a little long, and Heather was kind enough to make sure that the boat didn't suffer, because Heather is the business. She's my partner here on the lifeboat. If you guys are brand new, Heather is co-captain over here and does unbelievable amounts of work to make sure that everything goes off the way it's supposed to. Won't be able to hear anything you're saying without turning off my microphone and starting from scratch. You want me to do that?
No.
Okay. All right. Sorry. It is, and you know what? She's a saint too, because I'm hard to deal with because I don't know what I'm doing. And that, folks, is a serious problem. I have no idea what I'm doing. But that was a really fun little exercise we just did over there. Hey, Joe, that good to see you, Joe. I haven't seen Joe I see him in the comment section all the time, but it's great to catch you live, Joe. Good to see you. I want to bring everybody up to speed a little bit. Hey, that's my brother. It's my brother Johnny over there from Chase the Heat. So it is official, people. I have set a date for are you ready? Can I get a drum roll, please? You know what's coming. We revel in your lack of structure, Tommy. Thank you, Goosebumps. I'll take that. Even if it wasn't 100% genuine and it was a shot at old Tommy, I will take it because I revel in it myself. No, I think you were being genuine. I'm just kidding. So I have set a date officially for when I will be doing the, you heard me, Systroming and a whole host of other fun stuff. Systroming is coming, though. I'm going to be doing Systroming. I think I may be doing at the same time. I think I may be doing at the same time some Hakarl, and perhaps even, you heard me, and perhaps even some of that tasty Darien fruit. I will be roping my brother Johnny into doing this, and a special surprise guest that none of you can know about, because this person's entree into the disgusting fish. I can't tell you. I just can't tell you. But I'll give you a hint. I'm having to import this person from Bangladesh. I can't back that up. But I am putting together something that's going to be epic, and it is coming up soon. People, our anniversary of the lifeboat was yesterday. So yesterday was officially the very first time I posted anything, which means today is the first time that I ever answered any comments from any of you. The number of comments that I have answered since has been incredible. I apologize that I don't answer every comment these days. It gets to the point where it is almost impossible with everything else that we're doing. It really is. Boltneck says, new to the boat. Very happy to have found this forum. Well, we are happy you are here, Boltneck. I like the emoji. Got a little bit of Abby Normal going on there. Everybody get that reference? I get an Abby Normal reference. Frabluka. No, there'll be no Vegemite mind games. The Vegemite is right here at all times. Do you see that? Vegemite. You know how long this Vegemite is going to sit right here in that bottle? Until the end of time. because I'm not eating that. No, I will eat it. I have had a deal on the lifeboat since the very first time we discussed the whole Vegemite thing. When when the lifeboat gets the silver play button, I will eat Vegemite, and I will do it more than once. I'm going to eat it every day for a couple of weeks. That's what I said. I think that was the actual quote, that I might just eat this every day for a couple of weeks if we ever get a silver play button. And when I said it, I think we had about, I don't know, 1,000 subscribers or something. It was probably not something that I thought a lot about before I said it. But it's going to be a hot minute before we get to the. Hey, look who knows what time it is. Look at that, huh? This is Squirrel Nut Zipper's back in the saddle because she missed me yesterday. Wait for it says, I like Vegemite. Well, I'm not going to hold that against you. Look, there are people who suffer from addiction who have mental illness. And that mental illness sometimes can cause people to think they like Vegemite. I'm not going to hold it against you. You know what I mean? Hey, yeah, Squirrel's back. Isn't it cool? Oh, look at that. Like she knew what she was doing. Like she knew what she was doing. That's because she missed me. But I wanted to do some pure OSRS, says Kitty. Yeah, this is Squirrel. Squirrel is the cabin cat. We got her about a year and a half ago, and she has just been absolutely one of the joys of my life. She's been fantastic. Forever Vegemite. Yuck. Yeah, see that? No, Tommy, get some mustard so you can't taste it. Well, there's an idea. Maybe I could just slather enough stuff onto the Vegemite where I wouldn't have to taste it. What do you say, Kitty? This is the cat in the basket. If you've never stuck around till the very end of the show, we always try to show you a cat in a basket. So the idea today was to come on here and do any questions that anybody wants to ask about the boat. I know someone who has a Frankenstein tattoo. Oh, she's going to chill out right there. What a good girl. I want to say a huge, huge congratulations to our very own Scooby with a Doobie. Scooby with a Doobie is now in a process where she's going to be probably picking which of the jobs she decides to go with. Scoob has had several interviews and both have gone fantastic, and we could not be any prouder of Scoob. When the going got tough, she didn't collapse or do anything stupid. I'm covered in hair now. She didn't do anything stupid. She knuckled down, went out, got more interviews. Yes, I am very, very proud of Kyle. 35 years is a very long time, and we love it. Yankee Kyle is killing it, and it's what we all dream of, right? It's that never-ending run. 35 years, no reason whatsoever to ever even slip at that point. But you know what? Gets back to a subject we were talking about the other day. Faith over fear. You look at Yankee Kyle. When you got 35 years under your belt of managing to stay sober and get through, it's one of those situations where you say, my bag of tricks has got everything in it. I got faith that no matter what comes, I guarantee you that I am going to get through it. Ann Mueller. Hello, Ann Mueller. Welcome to the Lifeboat. Don't know that I've ever said hello to you. If I have, then you got the 2-for-1 special. But if I haven't, welcome to the Lifeboat. So glad that you're here. This cat is just starving for attention. Poor kitty. Oh, with the big yawn. See, we've been on a rough run. We had the monsoons, and then I was going to go to Reno to take care of business. Last night, trying to get a flight out of Reno. Those of you who didn't catch me this morning I had to bail off of the live feed very suddenly, and I apologize for that, but it's one of those things that happens, and there's not much you can do about it. It was a health thing. I was going to go to the bathroom, whether I was here or somewhere else, so I decided maybe the bathroom might be a better bet. When will Squirrel get her own YouTube channel? She's in negotiations right now, actually, for her own YouTube channel. The trouble with Squirrel is that the rider, the list of things that the talent wants, put in the back room, they're struggling really hard with that. She wants She wants 3 bags of kibbles and bits, but she just wants the bits. She wants all of the kibbles removed. And then a whole list of other things. Catnip, but it has to be Tibetan. She's hard to work with. Great cat, though. Really a good cat. She's just a bit of a diva. England 6, China 1. James R. says, obviously, the most important question of the day is, did you all see the Women's World Cup score? Well, of course we did. I mean, James, I would have brought it up myself, but I thought it just kind of went without saying. So, Susie Q says, Tommy, I wanted to ask you, how long have you been sober? I have been sober 8 years as of the 27th of June. June 27th was my 8-year anniversary of having given up drugs and getting sober. I am working on that, Crazy Brumfeld. I really am. In the beginning, I had somebody do some. My cats drank Fiji water. Yeah, you know what? That was on her list. She's a big fan, but she also wants, it's got to be a 50-50 cut. She likes a little bit of sparkling water cut into her stuff. She's like I said, she's a bit of a diva. Hold on one second, people, because I saw something that I wanted to. So I did delegate, and I had some people that were, that were helping me out with that. I get scared to hell. I get scared to hell that someone is going to answer an email that I didn't, and it's something bad's going to come of it. If you're new to the boat, I missed an email once, and it haunts me to this day because the person is no longer with us, and it's one of those things. My Shar-Pei is a diva, spoiled. Yeah, I think we create them. I did. I sure as hell created Squirrel by accident. How did Q cross racial barriers inside to reach out and help you? Did he have rank, or was he just that compassionate? Here's the fascinating thing on this. It's a really great question. For those of you who don't know what he's talking about, my mentor in prison was a black guy, and in federal prison, blacks and whites don't get along. I mean, you can walk next to one and talk to them as long as you don't make a habit of it. If you pass somebody on the track, you can say hello, but you don't see them hanging out very often. And within the community that he fell into, which was 2 separate cars, one from the part of the country that he was in and the other from the fact that he was black, everybody just massively respected Q. And he's doing life in prison, so he has been down, but when I met him, he had been down over almost 28 years or somewhere in there. And he just has the most sterling reputation in the world. So his people didn't mess with him. It was more of an issue on my side. But you know what? We just, there was a little bit of me kind of working my schedule. I didn't eat with him in the chow hall. There were things that were an impossibility. I would have loved it, but not a possibility. If we decided to hang out in the unit and eat, together, we would do it in his cell or in my cell, and we would make sure people couldn't see that, because eating with the opposite race can get you killed. Yeah, life bid, scary thought, right? Pulling a lifetime sentence. I am of the firm belief that Q is going to get out. I believe that. I believe Q. I don't believe Q is going to die in prison. Yeah, bad idea, bro. Don't eat with other races. Yeah, you don't. You certainly don't want to drink off of the same glass or anything like that, because it's that it is that intensely regulated. Just the fact that he and I ate in the same room could have been a problem, whether we shared utensils or anything else. But it was a very prejudiced world that I lived in. However, a couple of things happened. One, there was somebody that cared enough about me to truthfully want to help me get sober and do anything to make that happen. That was number one. Hold on one second. This is Captain Tommy Scoville, and I'm live on the lifeboat. And one would think, since you're my son, you would know that. You okay? Is everything right? I'll reach back out to you. All right. Love you. Bye. Sorry, that was my son. And I will shut down a lifeboat if something's going on with my kid. But I had come to realize that this person could actually help me get sober, and that's how it started. And then after a couple of weeks, I realized that this guy and I had a lot more in common than we didn't. And then a couple of weeks later, I came to realize that I really deeply cared for this person, that this was going to end up being a great friend. And by the time it was over, he was a brother. And at that point, I wouldn't have cared. Might sound crazy, but I wouldn't have cared. And, every once in a while, someone would say something stupid, like, oh, you were down with that, one of the white guys would say something stupid because he and I would go to the law library at night. And I think people probably assumed we were working on a legal case or whatever, but we would just, we would go down and talk about the tenets of sobriety and what it took and why people can't seem to get it right. And he would tell me stories of the people that he had worked with because that's how he does his time. He picks one individual and he helps that person become sober and the best version of themselves. And that's his drive in life. And everyone does have more in common than we realize. I think that I'm going to keep building the lifeboat until the lifeboat is such a big thing. Until the lifeboat is a big enough thing that I can use it to get Q out. And I would certainly offer him the keys to the boat. I don't know if he would want to do it. He probably would just want to go back to the family that he's got and live his life. And I'd be more than happy for him to go do that and be. I don't care if he never came to the boat or never talked to me. I just want him out. Brave man to stand up for what you believe in. Thank you. I there are times I could have been braver. I promise you. And there are times that I look back and if I could do them all over again, there are some times that I definitely could have been a braver person. Although when it came to Q, and then it's just, I'm a firm believer in God. You don't have to be, but if you're not a believer in God, then what I will tell you is this, that it really, really was a lot of it was just one of those situations. I think that there was almost divine intervention, or we were the luckiest people in the whole world because I got a job at Unicor. And once I got a job at Unicor, they moved me into the Unicor unit. And in the Unicor unit, everybody in there works in the same factory. And you're forced to work side by side with people in different races. And the least prejudiced place in probably the entire prison system are the Unicor dorms. Because there's something there that unites people. And for those that thrive on traffic, they don't need black and white traffic. They've got people at work traffic. They've got guys that aren't pulling their weight at work and people that are costing others money. And it's a crazy situation. But once I moved into that unit, I could, he and I hung out like we were just best friends and no one said a word about it inside the unit. Nobody cared. They just plain and simple didn't care. And I know that so much of what I'm saying has to sound insane to you. And it sounded insane to me. You can't, if you were to drink off of a guy's coffee cup, they would kill you for it. Like that's, that kind of prejudice still exists. And you sit there and you think to yourself, how is that even possible? But you know what it is. And when you get dropped into that, you don't have to believe in those rules to live by them. I knew what it would have meant if he was walking across the day room with a burrito and I said, hey, yo, Q, give me a bite of that burrito. He'd have done it, but it would have probably gotten both of us, stabbed. Crazy world, right? But that's the world that we got dropped into. So I have a great idea. See, James R. gets it. You put question in front of the word. I promise you I'm going to end up seeing it and I'll read it. Question, Tommy, why do you use subs after 8 years? I understand what they are, but GPS can't prescribe them here. Oh, how do they help you? Okay, for me, I take a very, very, very small microdose of buprenorphine, and it eliminates craving. After 8 years, well, let's go back to 5. After 5 years of sober, I still had cravings every single day. I'd been sober for 5 years, and I don't just mean sober for 5 years. I had been working the program. I had been, it had been the focus of my life every day, and I was terrified. I was getting ready to re-enter society and everything else. And I had a doctor that said, you should try small doses of buprenorphine, because if you think about what it does,
So you've got this mu receptor, right? So as buprenorphine gets in there and it sort of paints that receptor, it does more than just paint that receptor. It tells your brain receptor's been painted. Well, for a guy that did heroin every day for 30 years, having my brain be told that the receptor just got painted, my brain doesn't have any reason to try to talk me into doing any heroin. As far as it's concerned, we just did it. Now, I don't get a buzz. I don't get, I read about side effects that people complain about in the dose sizes that I'm taking, but none of those things are an issue. You know, I'm not taking 16 milligrams a day or anything like that. At this point, I don't even think I'm not sure I'm taking a milligram a day. I might be taking a half a milligram a day right now. And half a milligram a day does beautiful things. Buy Xenu? Xenu's leaving? Oh, our Xenu. I thought the Galactic Overlord was taking off. You know, this is a great comment. Someday we should do a fundraiser and put some money on his books from all of us who are in the same boat now. Thank you to Q. We will never feel like we are going to go through it alone again. I will do a show, and anything that gets donated during that show, I will put on Q's books. I love that. And I'll be honest, he has saved so much money. He's done so much to take care of himself that, like, financially, he doesn't need cash. But even if it was just knowing that people did this, I think would be a huge thing. It really would. It would be a huge thing. So I like that. Tomorrow will be a better day, Lemmy. They always will. Hi, Boltneck. Cool name. We have a snot face as well. We do. You reached out to Andrew Gold for me today. Wow, that's very cool. Thank you. But do classic modern books, Stephen King. Honestly, a bunch of magazines would be cool because when in rehab, your mind is all over. It's true. Having things to read in rehab is fantastic. A 1 for Kelly Gerling's son in rehab. Proud as hell of everything that's going on in that situation. It is insane to people who have never been to prison. And I take it that you have. Just from some of the things that you say. Hold on one second, people. Hello? Oh, this is the candidate for president, Vivek Ramaswamy. Tell him I would like to have him on the lifeboat. That man, say what you will. I don't care what your politics are. He has one issue that he drives more than anything else, and it is fentanyl, and that makes me really happy. Pure, I'm glad that you are out and doing well. If you have not been to prison, you certainly seem to know a good deal about it. But I am glad that you are out and doing well. That makes me so happy. You know that I've done a few 3 months and 6 months. That's plenty enough. You know what? That's enough. That gets your attention. I'm not one of those guys that says you got to do. Most convicts have a number you have to do in order to be a convict. Well, you got to do at least a 3-year. Man, if you've heard them lock the door on you, you know the vast majority of what you need to know. When that door locks, life changes. I want to thank everybody who patiently put up with me being over on Aaron's channel during our 5. For those of you who are new, we go live every single day at 5 o'clock in the morning and at 5 o'clock at night. That's based on the Pacific time zone. And I know that this was short. I thank Heather for coming in and bailing me out for that. That's pretty cool stuff. She also covered for me last night when I was trapped in airports. So Heather's the bomb. And I love the fact that our approaches are so different. Our approaches are exactly the same. Our delivery is so different. So that's why your respect and love for melanated people is so clear. I'll be really honest. I'll tell you what's up with my my love and respect for melanated people. And it's a good story, but I've told it at least in parts before. But when I was growing up, I grew up in a place that was so white that I never saw anybody from any other race. That's just where we grew up. Vermont is, especially back then, was just very, very rural, and everybody who lived there was white. And the first black person I ever met had been a girl named Alicia. We called Lisi. She came from Brooklyn, I think. She came from downtown in New York, in one of the 5 boroughs, and I think it was Brooklyn. But she would come out and stay with us for either 2 or 3 weeks every summer in what they call the Fresh Air program, and it enabled some city kids to go out and go to a place where they can't see a building, they can't see a high rise, they see cows, they see, and it's just a trip for a lot of them. And but she became family, and that was the first person that I ever met who was Black, and there was nothing different about her other than where she was from. We were fascinated by her, but we were fascinated by her because of the stories of the city. Because at that point, like we lived in the sticks. And when she said, we go out the front door and we walk like 6 feet to the store, and I'd be like, there's a store 6 feet from your house. Like I was blown away. And then what happened is, I won't use the people's names because they're alive and well. But then I got into high school, and there were brothers, talented athletes, really good dudes, that I was very close friends with, both of them. Two brothers who were Black. And when I came home and I was telling my dad, I was like, yeah, I got a friend there. And my dad said to me, his father died in a car accident on Route 4 on the road that we live on. And I said, how do you know that? And my dad said, because his dad was one of my best friends. Like I remember the accident that killed him. He said it was horrible. And so as we grew up, it was not a thing. It just wasn't a thing. It just wasn't a thing. Like we didn't even realize that crap still existed. I really didn't get any of that. I didn't know that people still believed things like that and lived like that until I moved. Because I'll be honest, Vermont is just not that way. I grew up in Vermont. There just was not any prejudice. There wasn't. Like it was unheard of. But Vermont was the first state in the Union to say slavery is ridiculous, and they banned it long before the Revolutionary War. Vermont was kind of enlightened. And maybe they've gone a bit too enlightened. Suboxone and methadone do not get you high after you're used to it. That's absolutely the truth, even in high doses. Doesn't matter how high the doses, because it just doesn't have the same effect on people who have had opiate use disorder. It doesn't do anything to get you high. I could eat 30 of them and it wouldn't do anything. You can set up a live set up the live as a fundraiser. Ask Ron how. I will do that. I promise you. Hi, Tommy. It's the first stamp linking day. All right. By the way, everybody who won the hot sauces and the other stuff from us, those are on their way. They went out last week, so you guys should be getting that stuff. You should be getting your stuff. I was class of 1988 from Blue Springs, Missouri. About 2/3 of the school was slabs of white bread like myself. The rest was a mixture of other colors, which I loved. I was 16 when I realized that we were different, right? Well, what was really funny was I remember, I wish I can't use this guy's name because I just don't want to. You never know if how someone would react to you talking about him, But when this kid came to the high school, because he had been going to a different school, but when he came to our high school, well, he was just the most fascinating thing in the entire world. Like every single person wanted to hang out with him. Every single person wanted to date him. He was new. It was awesome, but it never wore. I mean, everybody I was really blessed to grow up the way I did. I'm glad I didn't grow up with hate and all of the stuff that people are selling today. James R., a story about kratom. Kratom, you can do some research on this. And yes, I have a story about kratom damaging somebody. You can Google it right now. There are a couple of stories going. Now, I will be the first to say that it might be things added to kratom. It may not be the drug itself. It doesn't matter, because there's no regulation to it at all. They fly under the radar by saying things like, "Oh no, you're good, Bolt Neck. We're all old here." They fly under the radar by calling it a dietary supplement or whatever they market it as. But you could die from it, and there are cases last year of people that the only substance in their body tested was kratom, and they were dead. And they died from respiratory depression. Look, I don't want to argue kratom with people ever, and I won't. because if it helps you and it's working for you, I'm not an anti-drug channel. I'm an anti-addiction channel. But here's what I'll tell you. If it attaches itself to the mu receptor, I don't give a crap what it is. It's a drug, right? This is not a safe alternative to. It is a drug, right? And people can die on it. I have seen it happening. Sandy says, I have severe anxiety. We've good to see you, Kelly Cross. We've done a bunch of shows on anxiety, Sandy, and how to, some of the things that you can do to cope with it. I got constellation around my lungs. Using it before, but can't prove it's directly responsible. James, there's a lot of people. I will find you. I will find you the stuff that I was researching, and I will send it to you because I have a ton on it. I did a ton of research, around it. But if you're struggling with anxiety and the video isn't getting it done or anything else, you can always reach out. sober@myyahoo.com. Sometimes it takes a day or two, but I do get to everybody. Class is 78. Well, now I can officially say that you're old, right? No, I'm kidding. You're good. That's right, Mark. There's no such thing as a quarter black. They know if you have 1%, you are a brother. I'll tell you something. I had a transfusion once, and it was over a medical condition where something went screwy, and I started to bleed really badly. And they honestly got somebody to donate blood who worked at the facility. Like it was getting down to I had gone through that much blood. I was bleeding really, really badly. And I had used everything there while they were patching me up. And an orderly who worked there, funny guy, funny as hell, but he donated blood. And he came in, and I was sitting there eating breakfast. And he came in and he goes, I got a question for you. I said, sure. He goes, have you found yourself wanting to listen to James Brown? And I'm like, the musician? He's like, yeah. I go, not recently. And I'm like, why are you asking me that? And he goes, how about fried chicken? He said, have you been thinking at all about fried chicken? I go, did you donate blood to me? He goes, I did. I said, no. I said, none of those things have happened at all. And he's like, oh, I was just checking. And he started to walk out. And I said, but I do find myself wanting to listen to some of Aretha Franklin's early works. And he just started laughing. He goes, I just wanted to make sure you weren't a hater. He said, I said, no, dude, I don't care at all. He said, you might just develop some rhythm. I said, well, that would be excellent. Didn't happen. I got no rhythm out of the deal. Just sort of sucks. But that's 1/8 of my blood that was donated by him. And I have a brother who's black, as you know. His name is Q. Migraines coming in the eyeballs. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. That is the worst. Bob, I'm always in the mood for Bob Marley. That was even before that. Yeah, blood is powerful. No question, right? No question. Anyone heard the racist gift basket story? It's hard to imagine living with opiates. Kelly Cross, it's hard to imagine living without opiates. That's what it was for me. But if that's what you mean, it is hard. It's hard trying to imagine living with opiates. But it can be done. I've been doing it for 8 years. A lot of people here have been doing it. Lemmy says, I learned how to dance on Soul Train. Well, then you can dance. I can't. I need it after work so badly. Let's see what we're talking about. It's hard to imagine living with opiates. Kelly, are you still using? Because I'm confused. I understand how hard it is to think about what it is like to live without. I understand that. It took me 3 decades, right, to finally pull the trigger and finally quit and finally go all in because I didn't think it was possible. And now I'm here to tell you that yeah, that's what you mean. Okay, that makes sense. You can reach out. Hey, Christy, try eating some fresh ginger if you have any, or drinking ginger tea. It helps with migraines. I'll be damned. Good info. Good info. Ripper, good to see you. You use oxys. Okay. Kelly, I don't want to put you on the spot or do anything else, but if you're buying these oxys on the street, then it is really essential that we try to we try to think about getting you off because the the oxy supply right now, worldwide, street oxys are not what they're supposed to be, and it is causing issues in the lives of a lot of people. And I don't want to see that happen to you. Uh, you're an open book. Do you live in the U.S.? Here's what I want you to do. If you're still using oxys and you're still in the life, then I want you to reach out to me at sober, SOBER, sober at myyahoo.com. You know, good. Yeah, good. I'm glad that you know. And I would imagine that sometimes you get them and they don't seem to keep you well as long as they should. Chances are that that is because you're not getting oxys anymore. Yes, Palm Springs. Okay, send me an email to sober at myyahoo.com. Sober at myyahoo.com. Kelly Gerling says, Kelly, 10 years on oxys, started nearly a year ago on Suboxone. Not going to lie, not as hard as I thought. Please look into it. Yeah, it is not as hard as you are going to think. And I'll tell you something. The thing with oxys are if you get into medical assisted treatment and you get into it through an idiot, you'll do okay anyway. But if you get into it with someone who really can sort of tell you what you're going to expect before it happens, it can be almost painless. Cravings get weaker in the rear view mirror. I love that, Wharton. That's awesome. And it's the truth. Thank you, Kelly, and I will respond. Thanks. Saw you on AA, Ron. Been thinking of coming over here. Well, I am glad that you did. Kelly, you made a good decision. I promise you did. It will this channel has the potential to change your life, not because I'm so damn good, but because we have a group of people here that can relate to you, and they will bend over backwards to help you be the best that you can be. Hi, is Nick still not in here? I really want to see him. He brought me here. Oh, yeah, you're talking about Noise Opera. He's one of our favorite people. I spoke to him yesterday by email and messenger, but I have not seen him here yet today. But any friend of him is a family of ours, so don't worry. You'll see him the next time, I promise, because he doesn't miss too many shows. But I'm glad that he brought you here, and I'm glad you are here. I really am glad that you're here. Nice. Joe says he started buying Suboxone on the street and it works. Well, Kelly, we may try some different stuff. All right. You reach out to me because there are some other options, but I don't want with the 30-second delay. It's really hard. We need to talk one-on-one, and we can talk about all of the different things that you can do. That you can do that will help with the detox. That may be even a better bet. There's a lot of stuff going on. We're very blessed right now that there's a lot of things going on in the medical community that is really benefiting drug addicts, especially people on opiates. So, all right, peeps. I know this was slightly shortened up because of my time over on growing up in Scientology, but thank you, Heather, for covering in the beginning. Okay, thank you for being willing to talk to me. Of course, that's what we do. That's how we get people sober, right? No problem. I'm Captain Tommy Scoville, yeah? And this here, hey, wrong side. And this is a cat in a basket. Good night, everybody. We love you. Don't we, Squirrel? He's a good kitty. You're a good kitty. Now, I can't sign this off. Heather has to.